Let's start laying down. Instead of calling this Shavasana, let's just pretend that this is a laying in the sunshine asana pose. So just find a place where you're comfortable. You can have legs extended if there's any tenderness in your lower back. Take your feet wide, allow your knees to knock in towards each other. Have your hands in a place that feels comfortable. So maybe arms wide, maybe cactus arms up overhead. Sometimes that's nice. It gets a little stretch into the backs of the shoulders. You could even have a hand on heart, hand on belly, both hands on belly. Just see where you need to be, kind of feel things out in your body today. And then take a nice deep inhale. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out. Ha. Do that a couple more times. So just starting to land on your mat. Starting to just pay attention to your body, to how things are feeling. Welcome, Maggie. And eventually, as you're ready, you're going to start to find the rhythm of your Jai breath. So inhaling through your nose. Exhaling through your nose, creating that soft rush of air in the back of your throat. Good. And just letting that sound be the most important thing. So there's things happening around you, especially if you're outside. Just kind of let that be background noise. And then perhaps you're also noticing that thoughts might be kicking up. You might be kind of perseverating on something. See if you can let that go too. And again, just do that by checking in with your breath, just noticing how things are sounding. And then notice how your body is feeling. Just enjoy being here, being in your body, being quiet and still. Taking a little midday break. Couple more moments here. Do a little scan, see if you've started to create tension anywhere in your body. Maybe there's a little tension in the inner groin, soften there. Maybe you're gripping fingers, toes. Maybe there's tension in your face and jaw. Let it all go. Nice, deep inhale. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. Good, and then just start to give your knees a little squeeze into your chest. You can hold the shins or the thighs, rock a little bit from side to side. Good, and then we're gonna just get into the core a little bit. Since bikini season is coming, and we're already outside soaking up the vitamin D. So if there is any tenderness in your lower back, you're gonna lift your hips up and you're gonna slide your hands underneath. Otherwise, you can just have your hands by your side. Knees bent in again, and then just moving with the breath nice and slow. We're gonna just start to bicycle the legs. So you can exhale forward, inhale. So just continuing like this, pull your lower belly in and up. There might be a slight little curve in your lumbar, the lower back, but you're kind of losing that a little bit. It's kind of like you're flattening the spine towards the floor. And you're gonna find that initially starting out, this this isn't too bad. That's not going to be true for everybody. So if you're already feeling it, take breaks if you need to. And if you're not feeling it, maybe you start to stretch the arms up overhead. So palms facing towards each other. See if that starts to up the ante for you. Keeping that breath smooth and steady. So you're not moving super fast here at all. If you're still at a place where you would like a little more, you're not feeling this in the hip flexors or the lower belly yet, maybe you stretch the arms forward and then curl the shoulders up off the mat. So if you come here and that puts a lot of undue tension in your neck, interlace your fingers behind you, kind of lean the head back. So you're just giving yourself a little support here. And you can always come into one of these more challenging positions and then go back a step. So let's be here like another 15, 20 seconds. Stick with it if you can. Always listening to your body though. So coming out if you need to. I can't even shame you if you do, especially if your Zoom camera isn't on. I'll never know. I'm just assuming you're all doing this. All right. So finish up here. Hug the knees into your chest. And we're going to do another little kind of twisting oblique, some core work here. So if you have stuff going on in your lower back, I'm going to either invite you to just come into a held twist, so knees dropping off to one side. And if that isn't working, or if you still want a little more core, you could just continue with bicycling your legs. So stuff going on in the lumbar. Casey, you might want to skip this one too. So arms out in a T shape, knees start bent. All right, so nice deep inhale here. As you exhale, you start to twist, dropping knees to the right. Inhale up to center, and they don't have to go very far. As you exhale, you drop to the left. Keep both shoulder blades pressing down into the mat here. So exhaling off to one side or the other. Inhale to center, and then exhale off to the other side. You might get lots of little cracks in your back as you do this. This is kind of like a little chiropractic adjustment. And you're either gazing straight up here, or you might be looking out in the opposite direction that your knees are going. So a couple of options here. And again, you could just be bicycling legs, holding a twist to each side. If you want to add on here, so the next time you're ready to drop to that right side, extend your legs to straight and then drop them off. So maybe you can even touch your fingers. Doesn't matter if you do or if you don't. Again, try to keep shoulder blades heavy underneath you. So that means your legs might not go as far down. Let's just do a few more to each side, getting this core stuff out of the way early. A little early on yoga torture. All right, so let's say one more each side. All right, inhale up to center, bend the knees if you took them straight, and then we come into the twist here. So dropping knees off to the right, maybe gazing out over your left fingertips, slowing everything down, feeling that release in the belly, in the lumbar. Breath smooth and steady. And maybe just check in here. So already haven't even left the floor, but we're building some heat. If you're out in the sunshine, you're especially building some heat, which is nice. Good. Inhale up to center with your knees, and then exhale, they drop off to the left, maybe gazing out over your right fingertips. If you're doing that, you're just going to feel a nice stretch to the left side of the neck. Good. Inhale to center. Hug the knees in, and then your choice here. So if you're feeling okay in your spine, you can start to roll forward and back. You can eventually roll all the way up. If that's not feeling good in the body today, you roll off to one side or the other and just make your way to your tabletop position. So finding some cat-cow, which is also going to be this really great release after all of that core work. So land with your shoulders over your wrists, knees underneath your hips. Pull the belly in here as you inhale. Find that arch. Think cobra pose. And then as you exhale, press the mat away, round in, let the back of your neck lengthen, press down into the shins. Inhaling, arching, beautiful work. As you exhale, round. If your eyes aren't closed, go ahead and close them here so you can really start to draw inward. And then continue moving like this at your pace. You're not too fast, you're not too slow. You're in that sweet spot. Just enjoying this. Good work. Couple more rounds. Excuse me. Good. Inhale, come back to neutral spine. You're neither arching nor rounding. Feel the outer hip squeeze in a lot. So engaging the core here. Keep your gaze an inch or two in front of your fingertips as you inhale, right leg, left arm, lift and stretch. Try not to open up that right hip. Exhale, release. Inhale, left leg, right arm. See how long you can get. Exhale, release down. Continue like this, a few to each side. It's a little bird dog here. Finding extension, finding some strength. Front of the body, the back of the body. And a little vinyasa here, a little flow, connecting movement with breath. Good. The next time your right leg, left arm are lifted, stay there. Ooh, continue like this. Squeeze those outer hips in a lot. So be here like this. Maybe you bend the right knee. See if you can reach back, find the foot. And then if you've got it, kick that foot into your hand. You start to feel a stretch on that right quadricep, the front of the leg, the hip flexor. Spin your right ribs to the left. Maybe you're kind of gazing out over that left shoulder. Feel the shoulder blades squeeze in towards each other. Breath smooth and steady. Big balance pose happening here. Sometimes we start to hold the breath. If you're in this variation as gracefully as you came in, you inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, release down. Inhale, left leg, right arm. So lots of extension. Find your core. Stay like this. This is a great place to be if you want to bend. Left knee, see if you can reach back, find that foot. And when you get it, kick it. Spin those left ribs to the right. Feel that stretch on the front of that left hip flexor. Maybe you're kind of gazing up over your right shoulder as those shoulder blades release in towards each other. Breath smooth and steady. If you fall out, no big deal. This is how we get good at these poses. All right, here we go. We inhale, find that length. Nice work. Exhale, release down. Walk your hands forward a couple of inches. Curl your toes under, keep a deep bend in your knees. Start to stretch your sit bones up towards the ceiling. Just release your ears between your inner arms, your biceps. And with the knees bent like this, we take some of the work out of the hamstrings and the spine so we can find more length through the sides of the waist. Good. So you're gonna hold on to some of this feeling, maybe let the heels fall back, the knees start to straighten a little bit. They're probably not gonna get all the way there, that's okay. And you can also stay with a generous bend. Good. So we're going to inhale, shift forward into our plank pose. So shoulders over wrists. Good. And then, so we're going to pull back as we exhale, but you're going to bend your knees a lot. Inhale back into your plank pose. This time, lead with your hips, pull back, downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, shift forward plank. We're going to just do a few of these. So you're going to pull back. Bending the knees is kind of like a little modified, I don't know, down dog, plank. Exhale, pull back, down dog. 2 more. Inhale, shift forward, plank pose, gaze forward. Pull back, bend your knees, stay nice and low. Yeah, that's it, Pamela. Inhale, plank. Exhale, pull back, downward dog. Stay here. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, ha. And then inhale, fire up the legs, come forward into your plank pose, come way forward on the toes. Option to come to your knees, we're gonna lower onto our belly. Elbows squeeze in, count of 5, 4, gaze forward, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Tops of the feet press, roll a little bit to the outer edges of the feet. You can either reach your arms by your side, palms facing in towards each other, or you can interlace your fingers at the small of your back. You could also hold on to a strap here and pull out. That's really nice if you're tighter in the shoulders. As you inhale, anchor down into the lower body. Extend your chest and head forward and up. You're dragging your knuckles towards your heels. You're going to feel a nice little shoulder stretch in here, especially if you're doing that Shalabhasana with fingers interlaced. If you're a little hyperflexy, little bend in the elbows is going to actually give you even more stretch. As you exhale, lower down. Change the interlacing of your fingers. If you took that variation, inhale, press, extend forward and up. Breath smooth and steady. With each inhale, feel a little more lift, a little more lightness. Good. Keep the feet pressing. Just release your hands, so stretching, fingertips back, palms facing towards each other. And then let's take the arms out wide, like airplane wings. Maybe see if you can lift just a hair higher. It might be more of a thought. Beautiful. Elbows bend, so fingertips underneath your shoulder heads. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, coil up. Good. Exhale, roll down. So in these low cobras, we're not using our hands to muscle our way up. We're using the muscles in our back, and you're just flowing here with the breath. Couple more. Legs are active. Good. So the next time you inhale, hold here. Squeeze the elbows in a little more. See if you get a little more lift of the shoulder heads. Beautiful. And then your option to stay here or pull your hands back, wrists underneath your elbows. Pressing into the tops of your feet, pressing into your hands. So really active. Shins, knees, thighs are lifting up off the mat here. If that's not happening in your body, lower back down. Otherwise, you're putting a lot of undue pressure in your lower back. Press the shoulder heads back in both poses. Good. And then in your up dog, roll over your toes, downward dog. If you're in your low cobra, press to tabletop and then make your way back. Let's start to walk our hands back to meet our feet. Inhale, chest extends forward. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, press into your feet, stretch arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. So just finding a few half sun salutes. Inhale, arms reach. As you exhale, fold in. You can do that with a little bend in your knees. These first forward folds can be really intense. Inhale, fingertips on floor, hands on shins or thighs, chest lengthens forward, gaze comes forward. Exhale, fold back in. And then inhale, press down into your feet, stretch arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. 2 more on your own, especially soak this up if you're outside. Feel really spacious in your body. Notice this depth and richness of your breath. And just notice how good it feels to move connected with the breath. So finding this nice little rhythm. Good, so finding your nice Tadasana. Root down into your left foot, come up onto your right toes, keep squeezing this left hip in, open up that hip. So quick little preliminary tree pose. So you could stay here like this. Maybe you lift that foot a little higher. Maybe you grab that ankle and then snuggle that foot up above your knee. Good. Palms together at your heart. Everything is squeezing into the midline. And then tailbone is releasing down as your sternum stretches up. Breath smooth and steady. Gazing at something in front of you that isn't moving. Okay, release here. Right into the second side, rooting into that right foot. Hip squeezes in, belly pulls in and up. Onto those left toes. Even just doing this some days can be really, really challenging. This is the pose, it counts, so you can stay here. Maybe you lift a little higher. Maybe you can snuggle that foot into your thigh. The one place you don't want that foot is on your knee, since that's a joint. Good, and you might be noticing all of those little micro movements happening in that standing foot. This pose builds so much strength in our feet. Gaze soft and gentle, breath smooth and steady. Exhale, release down. Good, so we're at the back of our mat. We're gonna inhale, arms reach up. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Good, inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. So keep looking forward, lead with your right hand. Start to walk into your downward facing dog. Take an inhale here. Full exhale. And then we're gonna inhale, lift our right leg, hips stay even. Exhale, step that foot through between your hands, land on your left knee. And we're gonna inhale, rise up, Anjali Asana, low crescent pose. Good, make sure that your feet are about hips distance apart. And then bring your palms to face forward, make fists. As you exhale, pull down like you're moving through molasses, kind of squeeze those elbows in towards each other. And then inhale, same thing, really fire up the muscles to press up. Exhale, coming down, good. Inhale, press up. One more, exhale, pull down. And then inhale, reach up, release your fists. Bring your right fingertips to your left wrist. Squeeze this right hip in a lot. As you exhale, side bend to the right. Feeling all this length through the left side, rolling your right ribs up towards the ceiling or the sky, as the case may be. Good, inhale up to center. As you exhale, hands plant. Curl your left toes under. We're gonna step our left foot to meet our right foot at the top of the mat. Inhale, chest lengthens. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, press down into your feet, stretch arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Inhale, stretch up, Utthita Hastasana into Dasana. How tall can you get? As you exhale, you hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. So we're gonna keep this right foot forward, step this left foot way back. Keep those toes curled under. Root down into your left palm. Good, start to spin open into your twist here. So you could always modify this by putting the back knee down. You can also have your hands on a block. If you have those left toes curled under, fire that left thigh up towards the ceiling. So really engaging the muscles there. That's gonna actually help with the balance. Shoulder blades are stacking on top of each other. Gaze can be down, forward, or up. Notice if you've started to roll to the outer edge of that right foot, squeeze that knee into the midline. You're pressing to the inner edge of the foot. Good, one more deep inhale. Good, as you exhale, you unwind. So hands frame that right foot. Keep your gaze forward, keep your hips this low. Step back to your plank pose. if pets allow. Take a nice deep inhale here. As you exhale, shift forward on your toes, option to come to your knees, lower halfway, hover, or all the way down. Inhale into your low cobra or upward facing dog. As you exhale, stretch your sit bones up to the sky, and then nice and slow, start to walk your hands back to meet your feet. Inhale, chest extends forward. Exhale, fold in. Pressing down, take up space as you rise up to your extended mountain pose. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Inhaling, reaching. As you exhale, fold in. Inhale, lengthen. So keep gazing forward. Lead with your left hand this time. Keep your heels pressing back as long as you can as you walk into your downward facing dog. Nice, complete inhale. Full, complete exhale. Hips stay even as you inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, step that foot through, land on your right knee. So again, just give yourself a little space. So you're on train tracks here. Release tailbone down, stretch arms out and up. You're gonna feel a nice stretch on this right hip flexor. Palms face forward, make fists. Exhale, pull down. So feeling this nice stretch across the pectorals, getting into the backs of the shoulders. Inhale, up. Exhale, pull down. Good, inhale, press up. Exhale, pull down. And then inhale, press up, release your hands. Left fingertips come to that right wrist. Get lots of length, squeeze this left hip in a lot as you start to lean off to the left. So feeling that little side stretch. Should feel really nice through that right side of your body. You can be looking forward. Maybe you start to look to the inner right arm. Feel that left shoulder blade releasing down. Good, as we inhale, we come on up. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Curl your right toes under, and then you're gonna step that right foot to meet your left foot at the top of the mat. Inhale, chest lengthens. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, press into your feet, stretch arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Inhaling, reaching. As you exhale, fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. So we keep this left foot forward, step the right foot way back. You can lower onto that knee or keep the toes curled under, really fire up that right leg. Root down into your right palm, that wrist is underneath your shoulder, maybe hand on block, and then start to spin to the left. Shoulder blades stacking on top of each other. Notice if that right shoulder is coming up into the ear. Release it down. Gaze can be down, forward. Maybe you start to look up. Breath smooth and steady. Try to really expand and fill up on the inhale. It's a little challenging in these twists. Nice work. And then finally, also just make sure that you're pressing to the inner edge of that left foot. That knee loves to wing out here. These look great. Deep inhale. Exhale, unwind. Gaze forward. Keep your hips to slow as you step to your plank pose. Nice work. Take an inhale here. Exhale, shift forward on toes. Lower halfway, hover or all the way down. Inhale into your back bend. As you exhale, downward facing dog. Again, just start to walk your hands back to meet your feet. Inhaling, chest lengthens. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, press down into your feet. Stretch arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. All right. So weight goes into that left foot. Tree pose number 2. Come up onto those right toes. Open up. So again, you can just stay here like this. Maybe you lift a little higher. Palms come together at your heart. Keep squeezing everything into the midline. Good, and then we're gonna start to extend our branches here. So reaching the arms up and over. You can take your arms as wide as you need to. If you're tighter in the shoulders, that's gonna be a nice adjustment. All right, so feel really rooted in that left foot. Make sure that you don't have the death grip on your toes. Try to feel that lift in your arch. We're gonna start to bring our gaze up towards the ceiling or sky. So if you're outside, this is gonna actually be pretty much nearly impossible. So you do the best you can. Maybe you don't look all the way up. There's something about having a surface closer to you, a glass ceiling, I guess, that helps with the balance. So just know if you're outside or if you're in a space with a tall ceiling, this is a little bit harder. Good, and it's okay if you fall out, you just fall back in. Beautiful work. Good, and then just bring your gaze forward. As you exhale, hands come to heart center. Release the right foot. Okay, press into that foot. Feel the belly pull in and up onto your left toes. Open up. You might stay here like this. Again, you can go any degree here. Palms at your heart. Breath smooth and steady. Drishti, something to gaze at in front of you that isn't moving. Grow your branches up. And then maybe just imagine that somebody is holding you by your wrists. So that's going to give you a little support as well as space. And then start to challenge yourself by bringing your gaze up. One side might feel a little more precarious than the other. That's par for the course. That's absolutely okay. You're just noticing if you fall out, fall back in. Keep a light, playful attitude about all of this. It's only yoga. All right, bring your gaze forward. Nice, focus, hands come to heart center. Release down there. So again, we're at the back of our mat. As you inhale, arms reach out and up. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. Lead with your right hand, walk into your downward facing dog. Keep your heels releasing back for as long as you can. Get nice deep inhale, full complete exhale. As you inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, you're gonna step that foot through between your hands and then heel toe it to the left twice. Spin into the back edge of your left foot, so right heel is intersecting left arch. And then windmill arms up and over. So coming into our Virabhadrasana 2, hip opening pose. So your body is gonna be facing the long edge of your mat. Press that right knee back behind you a lot, but then seal into the back edge of this left foot, letting this left hip release down. Bring your gaze out over your right fingertips. Feel the belly pull in a lot. Moving with the breath here as you inhale, start to press to the inner edge of that right foot. Straighten that leg, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, sinking in nice and deep. Good, inhale up. Exhale, sink in again. Find that feeling of moving through molasses. Firm muscle to bone in legs and in arms. As we exhale, we sink in here. Flip your right palm to face up. Inhale. Find your reverse warrior. A couple of breaths here. Keep pressing your right knee back behind you. Keep this back hand nice and light on that back leg. We're finding this lateral stretch again. You're spinning these left ribs up towards the ceiling. Good, deep inhale. And then as you exhale, keep that bend in your right knee. Start to extend forward at that right hip. Right forearm to that leg. Reach this top arm up. And then seal into the back edge of that left foot a lot. Good. So you're gonna spin your palm to face behind you in that left arm. Reach down, bend the elbow. So maybe you can bring your fingertips to the inside of that right thigh. Maybe you're just pressing your hand into your back. You're just finding a place where you can press the shoulder head back a little bit. And then if you want to get into the core, these obliques a little bit, maybe you extend your right fingertips forward. Nice work. Keep breathing. Notice if you started to clench your face and jaw. All right, so Go ahead and release the wrap, that right arm, stretch up, deep inhale. And then as we exhale, we unwind here. Okay, so palms plant. Let's step back to our plank pose. Good, nice deep inhale. And then step your feet together here. Okay, fire up the legs, root down into that right palm, roll to the outer edge of your right foot. Vashisthasana side plank. You can modify this by taking that left leg in front. Good, so you're lifting, hips up. And then if you want to, find your third tree pose here. Bring the sole of the foot to the lower leg. You can reach down, press that foot into your thigh. Maybe take that top arm up and over. You're still breathing, you're smiling. If you fall out of this, again, no big deal. This is how we get good. All right, so just like you came in, you come out. Try to do so without slamming down. All right, we pull back, downward facing dog here. Take a nice deep inhale. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go, ha. As you inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step that foot through, heel toe it to the right twice. Spin into the back edge of your right foot. Keep a deep bend in this left knee, windmill arms, up and over. Virabhadrasana 2. So you're facing towards the long edge of your mat. Your torso is squaring forward. Left knee presses back, right hip releases down. So many little things happening. Make sure shoulders aren't creeping up around your ears. Good, you're gazing out over those left fingertips. Good, keep pressing to the inner edge of that left foot like you're moving through molasses, so muscle firms to bone. Inhale, straighten that front leg, arms reach up and over. Good, exhale in. Good, inhaling, pressing up. As you exhale, sink in. Couple more, inhaling up. As you exhale, come on in, find your lower belly here. It's pulling in, your tailbone is releasing down, gazing out over those left fingers. Spin your left palm to face up. Inhale, nice and easy. Finding your reverse warrior, little lateral side stretch here. You can be looking forward or gazing up. Feeling shoulder blades stacking on top of each other. Good, nice deep inhale. And then as we exhale, we transition into this little modified Parsvakonasana. So you can just bring that left forearm to that left thigh. Make sure that you haven't lost that deep bend there. So we start with shoulder blades stacking on top of each other. See if you can get a little longer through this left side. Spin those left ribs up. Again, notice if you got the death grips, especially on the toes and that left foot especially. Soften. And then spin that right palm to face behind you. You're externally rotating. Get to reach the arm down, bend the elbow. So pressing the hand into your back, or maybe you can bring your fingertips to the inside of that left thigh. Fire up that right leg. Use it more than you think you can. Stay here if this is like, if you're cooked, if this is enough. Otherwise, maybe you reach forward through your left fingertips. It's going to get into the obliques. I'm actually feeling this pretty intense in the inner thigh, the groin. Keep breathing. Soften face and jaw. Good, and then you make your way out here. So finding just that modified extended side angle pose, deep inhale. As you exhale, you unwind. All right, so palms plant, step back, downward facing dog. Bring your feet together so you have one giant leg. We move towards our Vashisthasana. Inhale, shift forward. Root down into that left palm, roll to the outer edge of your left foot. Again, maybe you're modifying this by taking that right leg in front. Both good options. If you want to find Vrikshasana in Vashisthasana, you are welcome to do that. Make sure that you're not dumping down into that left hip. So it feels like you're lifting it And then maybe spin that top palm to face forward. Reach that arm up and over. Beautiful, beautiful work. Not an easy pose. All right. As gracefully as you made your way into this, make your way out. Pull back. Downward facing dog. Take a nice deep inhale here. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out. And then from here, we're going to inhale, shift forward into our plank pose. Good. Nice and slow to the count of 5, maybe using your knees. We lower to our bellies. 3, 2, and 1. Coming into your Sphinx pose. So pressing down into the forearms, shoulders over your elbows. It just feels like you're going to slide your mat back towards your heels. So you're going to feel a nice opening across the thoracic. You're going to feel some stretch in the lumbar as well. Make sure that you're firing up the glutes a little bit, using the legs to give you some support. And then let's angle these left fingertips in kind of to 45 degrees. We're going to bend the right knee, reach back, grab that foot. If you're not quite there, you can always grab with a strap. Good. Trying to bring that right heel closer to your right buttocks. Notice if this right side is lifting up. Keep anchoring down into your hip bone. If you feel like you have a little more, bring that right hand back to that, or left hand back to the Sphinx position. Maybe press on up. Beautiful, Pamela. Good. One more deep inhale. Exhale. Release. Find your Sphinx. Find that openness across the heart and chest, that lift of your sternum up. And then angling your right fingers in a little bit. It just makes it a little easier finding that leg sometimes. Bend the left knee. Reach back, grab the outer edge of the foot. And then you're trying to release this left shoulder blade down, even with the right. You can be holding on with a strap here. If you're not getting the foot, that's fine as well. Anchor into your pubic bones, hold onto that. If you want to go a little further, come back into Sphinx pose on that right arm and then press down. One side can be a lot different than the other, so it might not happen on this side. That's absolutely okay. This is Ekapada Bakasana. Deep inhale. Exhale, release, find that Sphinx. And then you're gonna make a pillow with your hands here. Turn your cheek to one side. You can waggle the hips back and forth a little bit. And then turn your cheek to the other side. All right, so we're going to come into our Dhanurasana. So go ahead and release your arms by your side. Just rest on your forehead. So we want to keep the legs about hips distance apart, maybe even a little closer. They like to splay apart here. So just be aware of that as we come into this pose. So we're going to start to bend both knees. You're going to reach back, grab the outer edges of the feet. You're going to start to lift the shoulder heads up off the mat and then squeeze the shoulder blades in towards each other. Nice deep inhale. Full complete exhale. And then this time as you inhale, everything lifts. You kick those feet into your hands. Beautiful. If you haven't eaten anything, you can rock forward and back. Good work. All right, come to a place of stillness. Next inhale, see if you can lift just a hair higher, front of the body, back of the body. Gorgeous. As you exhale, you come on down. Make a pillow with your hands again. And then take your knees wide, bend the knee, and then just slowly, slowly, slowly windshield wiper the legs back and forth. Turn your cheek to the other side. And then come back to center. We're gonna take a real easy child's pose here. So we just did a huge back bend. This is the counter to that. You're gonna feel a little tender in that lumbar. So you might just kind of have to take a moment or two to ease yourself into this, and it might not even be as deep as you can usually go. So take your time. Consciously start to shift gears here. So start to stretch out the inhale, lengthen out the exhale. So this fiery part of our practice, this intense, warm part of our practice has come to an end. So we're going to start to move to a quieter place. So use your breath to help get you there. Good. Inhale, slowly start to roll on up. And we're going to come into Upavista Konasana, so wide-legged pose. I recommend sitting such that you can have your heels on your mat, especially if you're on a harder surface. It's not such a big deal if you're on carpet, but it can kind of hurt the heels a little bit if you're on hardwood or a cement or a deck outside. All right, so sitting tall here. The other thing is that this is really challenging to sit tall like this. So if you know that you're tighter in the hip flexors of the groin, sit up on a blanket or a block. Just give yourself a little more room. All right, and then actually if you do have a block, you can grab that here. If you don't have one, don't worry. We're gonna bring that block to the inside of the right leg. Legs are really active, toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. All right, so we're gonna find a little more lateral stretching, a little twisting, forward folding. So bring your right forearm to that block. If you're a little more flexible, maybe that forearm is coming to the inside of that right lower leg. Left fingertips to this left hip crease. Start to spin those right ribs up towards the ceiling. Lean this left shoulder back. Maybe you're gazing up over that shoulder. So you could stay here. Maybe hands come, or left fingertips to the back of your head. Maybe you take left arm up and over. But don't do that at the expense of winding in. So you want to keep all of this twisting, all of this openness. Check in with your feet again. Legs really active, toes pointing up towards the ceiling. This is kind of a nice little asymmetrical stretch. Lots of little different things going on. This is so good if you tend to get sciatica, if you have lower back stuff going on. This can be really nice to help stretch some of those muscles out. That being said, this can also feel really intense. So there's this nice thing about flowing. It kind of gets the mind in this little groove. And when we slow down and we hold these intense poses, the thoughts can start to kick up. So sometimes it can be helpful to count the breath, just giving your brain a little something to chew on. Maybe it means you need to back out. Maybe you're going too far in the pose and it just doesn't feel sustainable. So make adjustments, do less. All right, so from wherever you're at, we're gonna start to spin our torso to face towards this extended leg, and then we're gonna take a forward fold over there. Again, if you're really tight, this is an ideal place to use a strap or a belt or a scarf around that right foot. You might be pretty upright here. I'm still getting a really nice stretch, and then this strap is helping me to articulate that foot. It's helping me to find a little bit of the twist here. Couple more breaths. All right, inhale, upright yourself, torso faces towards center. So just make any little adjustments that you need to. And we come to the second side. So prop to the inside of that left leg. Good, and it could even be higher too if you're a little tighter. So always, listen to your body, modify as you need, play around, get curious, see how you need to adjust this. Right fingertips to right hips. Press that right shoulder, head back, spin these left ribs up. You could just stay here like this. It's a great little stretch. Maybe bring your fingertips to the back of your head, lean back a little more. That will get into the shoulder. Maybe you extend right arm towards that left foot. Try to keep lengthening through the left side and then twisting those left ribs up towards the ceiling. Sit bones heavy. Yes, that right one's going to lift a little bit, but see if you can anchor there a little more than you think you can. How is this side different in your body? Couple more good breaths in this shape. Good. So we start to bring our torso to face towards this extended left leg. So one hand on either side, folding in any amount, trying to keep some length in your spine. Again, maybe taking that strap around the foot. Good. Keep those legs active. Keep the breath smooth and steady. Good. As you inhale, come on up. Square your torso to the long edge of the mat. And then we're just going to take a little forward fold here. So again, you might be pretty upright, just resting on fingertips. If you have a little more mobility, you can start to walk hands forward any amount, maybe resting on forearms, hands on blocks. There are a few individuals in the world who can kind of just easily come into this shape, lay their belly down on the floor. If that is you, I actually really want you to squeeze the feet inward, squeeze the outer hips inward. That might mean that you come out a little bit, but it's going to engage things muscularly. It's going to make the pose a little harder and also a little safer. I would demonstrate that if I could, but I can't. So this is an intense stretch, that inner groin. You might be feeling this in the lower back. All right, so from here, start to make your way upright. Good, and then our legs have been wide for quite a while, so you're gonna just take your hands underneath your knees. Ooh, and then just give the legs a little shake out, a little wiggle out. And we're moving towards our final resting pose, Shavasana. Let's find a nice little twist before we get there. So come onto your back. So you're welcome to stick with that twist that we did at the beginning of the class, just knees stacking on top of each other. If you wanted to modify that, you could take a block between the thighs. That can feel good. Maybe you like that variation where you cross left thigh over right thigh, scoot your hips off to the left, and then let the knees fall. Maybe you want to do your windshield wiper legs, so feet wide as the mat, perhaps taking that right ankle above the left knee. So your choice. What's your favorite twist? What would feel really good in your spine right now? In whatever version you're in, you're either pressing to the back of the center of your head, maybe rolling to the opposite ear of the direction your legs are facing. Most of us are probably going right. So rolling onto that left cheek. Good. And twist yourself here, so adjust as needed, and then do that same twist to the left, to your second side. And just giving the spine one final little release here. Good. Come on back to center. So even out the hips, give the knees a little squeeze into the chest. Good, and then setting up for your Shavasana. So extending legs to straight if that feels okay. You can take support under the knees. Knees can be bent and knocking in towards each other. Arms by your side. So kind of snuggle those shoulder blades underneath you. You feel that openness across your heart and chest. Palms face up. Let go of any sense of having to work here, of having to effort. Just melt in. Find a peaceful, restful Shavasana. Let your next inhale be deeper. Sigh the breath out as you exhale. And then bring some movement back to your body. Wiggle fingers, toes. I could actually tickle Pamela's toes on the Zoom computer screen here. Maybe reach your arms up overhead. And then staying soft and gentle, you're going to roll to one side or the other. And pausing there for a moment in the fetal position. And finally, just using your hands to help you press up to a comfortable seat. Sukhasana, notice how good you feel here. So it's such a gift to be able to stretch and strengthen and move and breathe deeply, to connect inward. So send yourself love and gratitude for showing up and for making the time and the effort. And just promise yourself that you're going to carry a little of this good feeling with you into the rest of the day, the rest of the week, the weekend ahead. Bring your palms together at your heart and just bow your head with a smile. Beautiful work today, yogis. Thank you. Namaste.